Is the paste wax dead? Did GYEON fix the old-fashioned wax? Well, 3 years ago, I said to myself I wasn't going to wax again for many inconveniences, and my last experience was a nightmare. Well, today I'm making an exception for GYEON Q² Wax. I'll show you the do's and don'ts and hopefully help you decide if the old school waxing is for you. Okay, so the last time I used a paste wax, it was in 2020. I had a flat black Audi S4 2015. I used a product from Soft 99. It was called Fuso Coat 12-month wax, very well known in the detailing world. And I had a really big problem with the removal of the wax. Obviously, I probably applied too thick of a layer. And second problem is the accumulation of wax between panel, around the edges of the panels, between every nooks and crannies. So I finally fixed the whole thing, but it took way too much time, way too much trouble for a simple wax. And I even stained some dark unpainted plastic. So overall it was a nightmare. So I finally gave up waxes altogether. Okay, before we jump in the application of GYEON Q² Wax, let's go over some of the pros, some of the reasons why you would use a traditional wax. The first thing that comes to mind is the natural look. If you're after a natural look, a warm gloss, the traditional wax will fit the bill. And then a paste wax usually will fill the micro scratches slightly more than other products in my experience. So again, if you're after a warm glow, you want to spend time. There's no long-term commitment with the traditional wax. The paste wax usually don't last as long as today's sealant. So the paste wax is going to be cost effective in most cases. So 175 grams, it's really hard to put a number of cars that you can do with it, but I barely use any for my whole car. I'm guessing you can do at least 20 cars with this. So the cost per use is very good. Another reason to use a paste wax is the ease of use. In theory, if you make all the mistakes, it can really turn into a nightmare. Okay guys, so let's get into the application. After that, I will pull the car in the sun. I will do my best to show you the gloss. I will show you how the car looks right after the application, and then we will have the first wash, and we will inspect the water behavior, the water beading, and the durability for just a simple wash, and then I will give you my conclusion. All right, GYEON has this fancy deodorant style container, just a couple twists at the bottom to release the wax. Like most product, prime the pad with more waxes first and use a tiny amount when reloading the applicator. Now I will wax the left side only to compare the filling capacity of the wax. We'll use an inspection light right after because I want to know if this wax can fill the little swells that I have in the paint. I have to warn you about this. Guys, please, you must use and apply a very thin layer if you don't want to suffer with the removal. Apply 2 layers if you want more durability. So according to GYEON, you want to wait 30 minutes dry time before buffing off the haze with a soft microfiber. And I had no problem with this wait time. If you did apply too thick on some panel, you will have to use more force to remove the product, but nothing crazy. I just want to warn you to have the best experience, the easy removal. Apply really thin. If you don't have much experience with paste wax, you want to be careful with the panel gaps. You might push wax in the body lines and around the edges, and when it dries up, you'll end up with a thick layer of white dried up residue everywhere. The solution is to not put force on your applicator and be mindful about the nooks and crevices. I have a little too much wax on the trunk, but as you can see, it came off fairly easy, but not butter smooth. Make sure to use at least 4 microfiber towels for the buffing process, because working with fresh microfibers will make your life easier,
By the way, I'm using the Detailed Popo 440 GSM here, link in the description. And guys, please double check your work after each panel. Okay, so let's take out the inspection light here. If you pay attention carefully, you'll notice that the wax is hiding the tiny swirls that I have on the trunk. And remember, the right side is untreated, so you can expect a better saturation with this wax. Okay, so check out the gloss on the paint. I really enjoy the wet look. The gloss is insane with natural lighting. Okay, now to the not so good side of paste waxes. Check out the little door for the roof rack. There's wax stuck on the edges. This is exactly what I want you to be mindful of. Nonetheless, it's easy to remove, but it's extra work that I would like to avoid. So I went myself a little too heavy on the amount of wax, as you can see. Don't make the same mistakes. By the way, a quick side note, the GYEON wax needs 12 hours to be fully cured. Okay, 1 week later, this is the state of the car. We're gonna go ahead and do the first wash. I'll start with the pre-wash. I'll do Cut Chemie Super Foam 1 to 10 in the foam cannon for the pre-wash. So let's rinse the soap right after that and evaluate the water beading in hydrophobics. Now here's the hydrophobics right after the pre-wash. It's pretty impressive. For the contact wash, I'm using pH neutral Chemi GSF. You can really feel the slickness of the paint under the soap, very smooth gliding. And here's the hydrophobics after the first wash. The water beading might have lost 10% here, on the lower panels especially, but nonetheless it's still pretty good.
Okay, a couple thoughts about GYEON Wax. First, about the application. I recommend you apply a thin layer, really thin. I don't know why in the instruction they tell you to apply a thick layer, and when I did, I had a big problem removing it. And like I mentioned earlier, I want to avoid scrubbing my paint as much as possible. Next, I can confirm that GYEON Wax doesn't stain black trim and rubbers. I have not had problem here. A couple spots I had to remove and it came off really easy, and I did my best to not over apply, but I still had some accumulation between some panel around the edges, and it was really easy to remove. In some cracks in the door handle in the mirror, I had some accumulation, really easy to remove. The gloss was amazing. I really appreciated the amazing gloss. The water beading is really good for a natural wax. So when I pulled the car outside, I was really impressed with the look of the car, the gloss. Overall, the car looked really stunning, and I was also impressed by the filling capabilities of this product. I did a 50-50 and it was really noticeable, all the defects that were filled by the wax. So as far as the durability is concerned, I can't say too much right now. It's been only a week, one wash, but I don't see this wax lasting more than a couple months. Just after a single wash with the neutral shampoo, I'm already seeing some parts of the car that is weakening. So if you're after durability, you probably want to avoid it. But if you like a really nice glow and you want to spend time applying a old-fashioned wax, I would have no problem recommending GYEON Wax to you. And man, the smell of this product is fantastic. It's something I really enjoyed. So I will leave the link in the description. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.